I'm disappointed for Luke. You know, in this job as a coach in the NBA, you are 100% dependent on your circumstances, the strength of your organization, the momentum, the unity. Everything has to be in good order, because if it's not, as we have witnessed with the Lakers, then there's going to be casualties, and usually the coach is the first one. And so they're losing one of the best human beings in the NBA. They're losing a guy who knows the game as well as anybody I've ever met. They're losing somebody who players believe in, players want to play for. But again, he was dependent on circumstances, just like all of us are. And I feel for Luke, and I feel fortunate to have a set of circumstances here where we've got wonderful people stabilizing our organization every day, and I'm lucky to be in this position and to be surrounded by those people, because it doesn't happen often in the NBA.
Do you think there's any chance he might be around here at times in the playoffs?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, I mean, Bree might be ready to kick him out of the house in a few weeks. So if that happens, maybe he'll come up and hang out. But no, I think this has been such a crazy ride for Luke. So he needs to get away and be with his family and just get a vacation and sort through what he's going to do next. But we all we're big fans of him up here, needless to say.
Steve, DeMarcus just said taking charges is a lost art in his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody wants to sacrifice their body, and it hurts.
Yeah.
Sometimes. And how he finds it fun and feels it can get a defense going. What's your take?
Well, you got to be smart to be a charge taker, because you have to be there early. You have to anticipate the play that's coming. DeMarcus is really smart. He's a great center fielder for our defense. So he plays behind the play and anticipates, and a lot of times will step in, outside that charge circle and take the charge. Ironically, there have been several this year where he's taken a charge and the officials have immediately come over to me and said, I might have missed that one. I think DeMarcus is a lot quicker than people realize, and he's one of the better charge takers in the league, and it's really a huge addition to our defense. We've had a lot of shot blockers at that center position, Bogut and JaVale and David West, and so adding somebody who's a charge taker is really helpful for him.
Does that make you a rim protector in another way? I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's still defending the rim, and it's just a different way of doing it.
How's Steph?
Steph was fine. Went through all of practice. Looked good.
Wanting to be on the injury report?
I have no idea. I mean, I think I might be on the injured report tomorrow. Everyone's on the injured report the way the league wants it nowadays. So we're going to list like 7 guys with various injuries, and I'm not even going to know about them. So that's how this works.
What are you going to be listed?
Just day to day. In general, day to day.
With overall soreness?
Just general, general soreness.
You haven't had to miss a game with load management?
No load management. Playoff time, you can't do that.
Hey, with Lou Williams, what are the unique things that he does to get himself to the line?
He's really crafty and clever. He's figured out how the game is officiated, so he maneuvers in ways where he can draw fouls. You have to be very careful with him, just like James Harden and others who have sort of mastered the craft of getting fouled. So you can't get your hands in. You got to keep your hands out, and you've got to do your best to challenge the shot without biting on the pump fake, because he'll jump into you off that pump fake. One of the best in the league at it. So great player, fun to watch, and a huge key to their team. And so we've got to have our antenna up every time he's on the floor.
Traditionally, the thought is that in the playoffs, refs will let it loosen up a little bit. They won't call as much. Obviously, this year it was all about calling off ball. So, what do you expect of that? Do you expect it to be ref like the regular season?
Well, I mean, I think the first thing that fans need to understand is that it wouldn't be possible to officiate the game the exact same way in the playoffs as you do in the regular season. If you did, the games would take 4 hours. There'd be a foul on every play. Honestly. So let's get that out of the way first of all. So when one of our fans is like screaming at the TV tomorrow, like, you know, like that was a foul in the regular season, you can't call it, you know, you got to call it now. No, it's not how it works. The official's job is to keep the flow going, and so it's a much more difficult job come playoff time because you're dealing with defenses that are prepared and physical. We know what they're running, they know what we're running. We're just going to be more focused, more intense. So our defense will be better, their defense will be better. There's going to be more physicality. And if the refs can't possibly call everything, they've got to find the way to make it fair, but keep the flow of the game going and reward the teams that, you know, are playing better and doing a better job. And it's almost impossible. I don't know how they do it, but that's why you know, they only have the best guys, their top guys reffing these games. It's a really brutal job.
What made this matchup special a few years ago when a lot of people were calling it a rivalry? And do you think it's fair to call it that still at this point? Obviously,
no, it's totally different. I mean, I think what made it unique, you know, 4 or 5 years ago was that traditionally both teams had been pretty lousy. You know, I don't know if there had ever been a time when both the Clippers and the Warriors were good up until, you know, 5, 6 years ago, and so that made it unique. Same division, you know, same state, obviously, and two up-and-coming young teams. So it was, and it was pretty chippy. You know, there were a lot of games I remember watching and even broadcasting every time they got together. I remember there was stuff going on, and then in the playoffs, the 7-game series in 2014, something happened after the game in the hallway at Staples. So it was legitimately a rivalry, but the team looks entirely different. You know, Clippers do now. No Blake, no DeAndre, no Chris Paul. So totally different. They're the young upstarts now. We're the veteran team. We have a ton of respect for them and what they've done. I look at the Clippers, I look at Brooklyn as two teams that I really admire, rebuilding on the fly. You know, looking at their circumstances, saying we got to reshuffle the deck, but let's build something tangible, build something real. And Clippers have done an unbelievable job of that. They make a trade and lose their best player, and they actually got better down the stretch. Imagine that. So there's a traction to where they're going about their business, just like Brooklyn. Brooklyn didn't have a lottery pick for whatever it was because of the KG trade. And look what they built. So I love these teams that you can look at and go, you know, that's a foundation. They're building for the future. They're doing something right. That's why I have a ton of respect for the Clippers. No tanking. They're just trying to win.
You get the sense that now that the playoffs are here, getting through the regular season, the guys are not only re-energized, but they're excited about the possibility of going back to back to back.
We don't even talk about what happened the last 2 years. We just talk about our next opponent and the next game, and it's the only way to approach, you know, 2 months of playoffs if you're fortunate enough to get to the finals. But our guys are excited. You know, I'm not interested in any history lessons. I'm just interested in, let's get after it. Let's play our best. Let's play with a ton of energy and focus and discipline. And when we do that, we're usually pretty good.
So what do you notice what Patrick Beverley does to get under his opponents, and how do you want the guys to kind of handle that overall?
I think you just can't take the bait. You know, Patrick, I admire Patrick. I mean, he's a hell of a defender, and you know, he's found a way to make a place for himself in this league as a guy who was, you know, late second-round pick, I think. So good player, really good player, good defender. You can't take the bait. You got to just play, and you know, you do that. You stay with the game plan. You'll be in good shape.
You mentioned the officiating. I know during the season, you guys were one of the teams that was criticized for being highly vocal with the officials. Is that something you have to stress anymore, or are you past that, you think?
No, we stress it every year in the playoffs. You got to channel your energy in the right way. And that's what we have to do tomorrow and every playoff game we play. Channel the energy towards our own play, our own effort. And it's been my experience that we've generally done that pretty well. And it has to happen for us to be at our best, for sure. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.